This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. And I am Mamna Bukar. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. Addressing thousands of supporters at a major political rally in Brikama, President Adama Barrow, among other pledges, pledged to increase public sector salaries by 30% next year if he secures another term in office. On Sunday, President Adama Barrow inaugurated the Serekunda Central Mini Stadium in Bakote, formerly called Mboyo Field, now renamed the O.J. Jallow Memorial Mini Stadium. Speaking virtually at the high-level 13th Mark Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary Conference, First Lady Fatoumata Barrow reaffirmed her commitment to advancing healthcare, education, and women's empowerment across Africa. Marina International School celebrated a graduation ceremony for the class of 2026, recognizing students who excelled academically and in extracurricular activities. And in international news, UK Prime Minister and Labour Party leader Sir Keir Starmer has stepped down after growing pressure from within his own party over his ability to lead Labour into the next general election. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the ruling National People's Party, NPP, together with its coalition partners, has held a major political rally in Brikama as campaigns gather momentum ahead of the December presidential election. Addressing thousands of supporters, President Adama Barrow, among other pledges, pledged to increase public sector salaries by 30% next year if he secures another term in office. Julden Jai reports.
Supporters from Brikama and surrounding communities turned out in large numbers as the National People's Party and its coalition partners staged what they described as a major show of unity ahead of the December presidential election. The rally comes just days after the party unveiled its manifesto, 9-point development plan and digital campaign platforms, marking another step in its election campaign. Leaders of the coalition used the occasion to urge supporters to remain united and intensify grassroots mobilization. Dr. Ismaila Cisse, the current Minister of Information and leader of the Citizens Alliance, Hamad Nkeba, the current Minister of Local Government and Lands, and the National Reconciliation Party leader, encouraged young people to support President Barrow, saying their active participation is essential to national development and the country's future.
Gambians want a leader who is experienced, a leader who does what he promises. That leader is President Barrow. Elections are very important. At this time in Gambia, we need a leader who understands the problems of Gambians, someone who has experienced suffering in the Gambia so that he can solve your problems. I am therefore calling on young people to be careful and participate in nation building.
When we took over power, the distribution of electricity was a problem because all the cables were destroyed. When we took over power, 30% of electricity generated was lost because our distribution system was bad. Today, President Barrow can proudly say that problem has been addressed throughout the country. When we took over power, you cannot find electricity in most parts of the Gambia. Today on record, by December, the Gambia will be one of the leading countries that electrify its country by 90%.
NPP National President Musa Drame, the party's first Deputy National President Dr. Demba Sabali, who is also the current Agriculture Minister, and the National Women's Mobilizer Maimuna Balde, all called on party supporters to renew their commitment to President Adama Barrow and strengthen mobilization efforts across the country.
It is only the NPP and its alliance parties that can pull such a crowd. So I am appealing to the President to stand firm. As a national president, we have endorsed you as our presidential candidate for the 2026 presidential election.
I want to address those saying Barrow no to a third term. For us, we are not talking about a third term. We are saying Barrow for a fourth term, a fifth term, or even a 10th term, because it is not in the Constitution. Those saying no to a third term have been here since Jammeh's time. Why didn't they raise the issue then? His Excellency is our candidate for the December presidential election, and he will continue to be our candidate.
President Adama Barrow, I am telling you that women are behind you because I know you hold women in high regard. You have done everything for us, so the only thing we can do is to vote for you. Dancing and clapping are nice, but the vote is the most important. So President Adama Barrow, I am reassuring you that women are ready, and inshallah all the women will nominate you. And we the women will pay the nomination fee.
Addressing the crowd, President Adama Barrow described the upcoming presidential election as one of the most competitive in the country's history, noting that he could be contesting against 4 former vice presidents. Despite the expected competition, President Barrow expressed confidence that he will secure victory, whether through a coalition or by contesting solely under the NPP ticket. The NPP leader also pledged to continue implementing his government's development agenda if re-elected.
To all those talking, I am telling them that within the next 2 years, electricity will never go off in the Gambia again. Those of you watching, if you want the progress in the electricity, infrastructure, and the health sector to continue, then the NPP and the government should continue. I also want to tell you that we will continue building roads, expand electricity, constructing schools and hospitals, and we will continue increasing workers' salaries. I'm telling the workers that after the 5th of December, I will increase their salaries by 30%.
The rally ended with renewed calls for unity among coalition partners as the campaign for the December presidential election continues across the country. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julde Njai.
On Sunday, President Barrow inaugurated the Serekunda Central Mini Stadium in Bakote, formerly called Mboyo Field, now renamed the O.J. Jallow Memorial Mini Stadium, remembered for his dedication to youth empowerment and sports development. Alice has more.
What was once a sandy playing surface that became muddy and virtually unusable during the rainy season has been turned into one of the country's most modern community sports facilities. The upgraded complex now has artificial football turf, floodlights for night activities, a spectator pavilion, and a multi-purpose volleyball and basketball court. The president was joined by Deputy Speaker C.D. Njai, cabinet ministers, sports administrators, community leaders, and hundreds of excited residents who gathered to witness the historic occasion. Funded by the government of the Gambia, the project is described as another milestone in the government's drive to improve sports infrastructure nationwide. Community leaders including Wahab Gay, president of the Serekunda Central Sports Committee, Aji Gay, councillor of London Corner Ward, and Bakari Singate, the executive coordinator of Kanif Municipality, all welcomed the project.
Before this land was secured for sporting purposes, our young people rely on open space and massive grounds to pursue their sporting ambitions. Despite the lack of proper facilities, the passion for sports remain alive.
For many years, the people of Serekunda Central requested this Mboyo field, but we are definitely grateful. The field is upgraded to a standard.
So building such opportunities for young people to be positively engaged, I think His Excellency is one thing that we will always remember that you have done for this country.
On behalf of the late OJ's family, Ami Jallow, his daughter, expressed profound gratitude to the government for remembering and honoring her father through the naming of the facility.
Your kindness and thoughtfulness have brought great comfort and joy to our hearts, and we pray that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, continues to guide and bless your leadership and the Gambia.
President Barrow recalled that the project originated from a request made by residents during his Midday People tour. The president said the project reflects his government's belief that sports development must be backed by quality infrastructure capable of nurturing talent and creating opportunities for young people.
Sports development must be supported not only through policy and programs, but also by the availability of standard infrastructure that enables our young people to develop and showcase their talents.
The Gambian leader noted that since taking office in 2017, his administration has invested millions of dollars in sports development, supporting national associations, facilitating international participation, and strengthening sports administration.
Sports are no longer considered as a mere recreational activities. They have evolved into a thriving multidisciplinary industry that creates employment, promotes tourism, and contributes to national development.
He also paid glowing tribute to the late Umar Amadou Jallow, remembering him not only as a former minister and parliamentarian, but as a passionate advocate for youth and sports.
His contribution to national development spanned several decades and touched countless lives across our country.
Following the ceremony, Serekunda East emerged champions of the inaugural four-zone tournament after defeating Serekunda West in a post-match penalty shootout. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Speaking virtually at the high-level 13th Mark Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary Conference, First Lady Fatoumata Barrow affirmed her commitment to advancing healthcare, education and women's empowerment through continued collaboration with the Mark Foundation. Aliou Cisse again.
At the start of her address, the Gambia's First Lady expressed solidarity with countries affected by recent Ebola outbreak, extending her thoughts and prayers to impacted communities, while commending frontline health workers for their dedication and sacrifice in safeguarding public health.
My thoughts and prayers are with you, with the affected communities, and I extend my deepest appreciation to the frontline health workers. Those courage, dedication, and sacrifice continue to protect lives and safeguard public health.
She reflected on the Gambia's hosting of the 12th Africa-Asia Luminary Conference in October 2025, describing it as having provided an opportunity to strengthen partnerships and affirm a collective commitment to improving lives.
Today's virtual gathering once again provides a meaningful platform for us to reflect on the progress achieved through our partnership with Mark Foundation, exchange best practices, and explore new opportunities to address the health and social challenges facing our communities. As one of the earliest ambassadors of Mark Foundation Modern and Mother campaign, I remain deeply committed to breaking the stigma surrounding infertility and empowering women and girls through education, awareness, and access to opportunity.
She said the scholarships provided through the foundation have enabled Gambian doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals to receive advanced training in specialized fields, including oncology, fertility, and reproductive medicine, and diabetes care, among others.
These investments are helping to build a stronger and more resilient healthcare system capable of providing quality care closer to home.
She also highlighted the impact of the Foundation's educational programs, particularly scholarships supporting high-performing but underprivileged schoolgirls.
As someone who firmly believes that educating a girl is one of the most effective ways to empower families, strengthen communities, and promote national development, I remain dedicated to ensuring that girls have access to the opportunity they need to reach their full potential and become future leaders.
This year's virtual conference brought together First Ladies, policymakers, health experts, and development partners to explore solutions to pressing health and social challenges facing communities across Africa and Asia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The report by Aliou Cisse will take us on a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and international news stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Mamna Buka. Now on to the rest of our stories. Marina International School celebrated a graduation ceremony for the class of 2026, recognizing students who excelled academically and in extracurricular activities. The event brought together students, parents, teachers, and guests to reflect on the achievements of the past academic year and inspire graduates as they prepare for the future. QTV's Lolly M. Kamara tells us more.
Students who demonstrated excellence in various fields were recognized for their hard work, discipline, and commitment throughout the academic year. The school's board chairperson, Alpha Amadou Bari, commended the students for the successful completion of an important stage in their academic journey.
To our students, the celebration belongs to you. You have worked hard to reach this point, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. More importantly, you should be proud of the character, maturity, and confidence you have developed throughout your stay at Marina School.
In his keynote address, the Q Group chairman, Mohamed Jah, delivered an inspiring address centered on excellence, integrity, and national service.
So let me be honest with you about what excellence actually looks like. It is not the glamorous. It is working at 5 a.m. in the morning to fix a problem no one else sees. It is redoing work that was already good enough because you know it can be done better. Excellence is not the discipline to keep going. Excellence is the discipline to keep going long after the applause have stopped. Integrity. Integrity is not what you do when people are watching you. Integrity is what you do at midnight when no camera is rolling, when no one will know, when the only witness is you and Allah. That is where character is truly made. And the world will test your integrity exactly at the moment when compromising it seems most beneficial.
Jonathan Warner, Marina International's Director of Schools, addressed the graduating class and had a surprise announcement for those assembled.
Mr. Jah, our guest speaker today, has I'm deeply touched, very kindly agreed to donate any of the Q Group products to the value of 1 million Dalasi to Marina International School, and I think deserves a very big round of applause, please.
Mr. Jah also challenged young Gambians to gain knowledge and experience abroad, but ultimately return home to help build the nation. Adam Adine, Marina International School's Vice Chair, commended students, teachers and parents for their collective efforts in maintaining high academic standards and for gracing the occasion to make it a memorable one. Award recipients expressed their gratitude to teachers, parents and classmates for their unwavering support throughout their educational journey.
As you step into the next chapter of your life, please remember that success is not measured by what you achieve, but by how you use your talent to serve others and to improve the world around you.
But no matter where life takes us, a part of us will always remain here, in these classrooms, in these memories. Today we close one chapter, not because the story is over, but because it's finally time to turn the page.
The event concluded with the presentation of certificates, prizes and special awards to deserving students as Marina International School celebrates yet another graduating class ready to embrace new opportunities and challenges. For QTV News, Slowly M. Kamara.
2 children narrowly escaped death after a building collapsed on them while they were scavenging for scrap metal in Kuntawur Central River region. One of the victims remains in critical condition and is currently receiving treatment. Our regional cameraman Musa Juara visited the scene where the incident occurred and filed this report.
The incident has raised concern about the safety of abandoned structures and the growing number of children engaging in scrap metal scavenging. Community members are now calling for stronger safety measures to prevent similar accidents. Kekuda Sane, the watchman at the Kuntawur Agriculture Office, recounts how residents rushed to rescue the children.
We were sitting and relaxing when we heard a child screaming for help. He came running to us and told us that a building had collapsed on some children. We immediately rushed to the scene and found that the ceiling and concrete pillars had fallen on them. The pillars were too heavy for us to lift on our own, so we called for additional help. Many people responded, and together we managed to remove the debris. One of the children was crying, and the other one was unable to speak. They were first taken to Kuntawur Health Center before being referred to Bansang Hospital for further treatment.
Fatoumata Fati, the mother of Suleiman Kante, the child who was unable to speak after the incident, visited him in Bansang Hospital.
I thank Allah that my son has opened his eyes and is now able to speak and eat. We were informed that he has been referred to Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital in Banjul for further treatment. I had warned him several times to stop scavenging for scrap metal and even punish him on some occasions. But what has happened is the will of Allah. And I pray for his full recovery and for the recovery of the other child as well.
Jeneba Jai is the mother of Amadou Jallo, one of the victims.
The incident happened between 12 noon and 1 p.m. when the children went out scavenging for scrap metal. They were trapped when the building collapsed on them and remained under the rubble until workers from the agriculture office and villagers came to their rescue with the help of Allah. It was a painful ordeal, but we thank God that no life were lost. An agriculture office vehicle transported them to the hospital. My son, Amadou, was discharged yesterday evening with a broken leg, although both children also sustained head injuries.
The community is relieved that both children survived the incident. However, the accident serves as a warning to parents and communities about the dangers children face while scavenging for scrap metal. Authorities and families are urged to discourage the practice and protect children from hazardous environments. Babakar Sise, Qtv News.
Coming up next is international news. UK Prime Minister and Labour Party leader Sir Keir Starmer has stepped down after growing pressure from within his own party over his ability to lead Labour into the next general election. Jacqueline Coley has more.
Keir Starmer's announcement on Monday on the steps of number 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister's residence, brought to an abrupt end a tenure that began with a landslide election victory in July 2024. His departure follows a series of crushing electoral setbacks for the Labour Party, including the loss of 1,400 English council seats in historic Labour territory to the right wing, Anti-Immigrant Reform UK, and to the Greens, and control of Wales after 27 years. The pressure intensified after Andy Burnham's by-election victory in Macclesfield sparked a leadership revolt, leaving Starmer with little backing within his party. Before contesting and winning this recent by-election, Burnham had previously been a Labour MP, and up to the time he contested his recent by-election, had been the mayor of Greater Manchester, just months before the 2024 elections, and him becoming Prime Minister. In an extended interview with former footballer Gary Neville, Starmer outlined his vision for the country and the change he hoped to deliver.
I want in 5 or 10 years this to be a better country. Living standards are better. People feel their schools are better, their hospitals are better. They've got a better chance in life. The infrastructure is better. That we've got, a real plan for energy of the future. These big changes that, if we get it right, you'll be able to look back on and say, that really did change the country.
In his resignation speech, delivered in the presence of cabinet colleagues and the world's media, Starmer explained his decision to resign as Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party.
The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
Here is how Starmer ended his statement.
And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Attention now shifts to who will lead Labour next, with Andy Burnham emerging as the strongest contender to do so. However, as we have seen with Keir Starmer, uncertainty is the only certainty in British politics. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Collie.
That report by Jacqueline Collie brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. Addressing thousands of supporters at a major political rally in Brikama, President Adama Barrow, among other pledges, pledged to increase public sector salaries by 30% next year if he secures another term in office. On Sunday, President Barrow inaugurated the Serekunda Central Mini Stadium in Bakote, formerly called Mboyo Field, now renamed the O.J. Jallow Memorial Mini Stadium. Speaking virtually at the high-level 13th Mark Foundation Africa-Asia Luminary Conference, First Lady Fatoumata Barrow reaffirmed her commitment to advancing healthcare, education and women's empowerment across Africa. Marina International School celebrated a graduation ceremony for the class of 2026, recognizing students who excelled academically and in extracurricular activities. And in international news, UK Prime Minister and Labour Party leader Sir Keir Starmer has stepped down after growing pressure from within his own party over his ability to lead Labour into the next general election. That's all we have for this news bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thank you for watching.